Please welcome to the stage Words, Beats, and Life.
Good afternoon. I'm so excited and honored to be at the 68th National Mentoring Summit. My name is Chelsea, and I am the 2025 Maryland Youth Poet Laureate. Today, I'll be performing my poem called Tête-à-tête, which is a French word for conversations between two people. For me, I believe empowering young people also starts with peer-to-peer mentorship. And I believe you all are connectors that build a community of courageous and compassionate peers. Friendships are very influential during adolescence, and I can definitely speak to that as a student. And I resonate with your values of creating those bonds in your local community and contributing to a legacy that extends beyond the summit. And here is my poem. Listen to our bird garden, the etymology of a haven. I dream of turquoise robin eggs peeking out from picnic blankets, bundled in gingham baskets, your warmth, like taiyaki burnt with July sunshine. Look at our wooden shed, the one we painted bamboo across its door. I dig out the stories we buried, now crystallized in jade. When you visit, let us treat keepsakes to travel. We can teleport into rabbit folktales through a bite of crisp egg tarts, a floral plate for two. Join me on a picnic outing where we pack butterfly clips and folding fans. Every time you share a secret, the breeze as our sail, my hair taking flight. We are cookies and milk, white Christmas, completing two sides of the moon gate. Imagination to encounter the unexpected. Follow me past the moon gate. Look at this. A pond of koi hiding behind your willow curtains, the swish and flap of tails moving like calligraphy strokes, rippling the water into growing tree rings. Outside, every friendship unfolds into surprise. We unwrap the skins, the shells, where the pulp waits for excavation. Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Isaac Johannes Yabiel, and I was the 2024 Youth Poet Laureate of Washington, D.C., and I'm honored to be here with you all today. My poem is titled Matriarch Mother, and it is all about, my mother and the lessons I've learned from her as an immigrant learning to navigate America. This poem is about what is learned between generations, spanning across continents, and how guidance changes between the old generations and their youth in the diaspora, and what we choose to take with us from our guardians as we make our own path. I was inspired about what my mother has mentored me on as we've grown in this country, how her role as my guardian and our identities have changed in response to the shifting landscape of today's nation. I hope this poem inspires you to reflect on where you come from and how those before you have tried to shape your worldview and perspectives in this ever-changing country. By the third day, the American Gulf was more than a mother aching to choke. It was a hunger, a wet mouth, a helix of our undoing unspooled into the black tar of a highway, which is to say, I am the Bor Borigmi, the wet gurgle of history that refuses exoneration. I was born in the grease of the map, my umbilical cord a fuse, waiting for the one match mother struck against the railroad spike of her own spine, until the fire caught in the back of her mouth. She says the sky is a heavy hand, navy-gloved, pressing our faces into the silt until we are filed between the pages of a country that promises us a page but hands us a barrel. I try to pray, but my tongue is a copper coin, heavy with the taste of old dynamite. I am chewing on the silence. I am masticating the jagged edges of a language that has already died in my mouth. Look at this skin, tarred, tessellating, a map where X marks the border ruptured by fishing wire. Do you know that in the 1860s, the dead were not buried, they were paved. I walk on them. I feel the foreign xylem blooming in my arteries, counting platelets like rings on a tree that refuses the sun. I search for the Tekezi in the crook of my arm and find only the Atlantic, cold, bifurcating, salt-sung, and unending. Mother says, make something beautiful from the bile. She teaches me to swallow the sand until I choke, to turn the irritant into a pearl, to calcify the hurt until it shines bright enough to cut. But when I reach for the zenith, for the golden boy haloed in forgiveness, I touch only the stranger in the glass. Lord, we are oysters, shucked and raw, dreaming in the future tense of a home that does not demand our blood as proof of our living. Thank you.
Please welcome to the stage Executive Director of Mentor Washington, Jolynn Kenny.
Okay, I have some quick opening remarks for us, but before I get there, they hired their favorite hype girl to announce that scholarship to next year's mentoring summit, so the 2027. So when Christopher was out here pep talking you into doing that survey, we have a winner. We have a winner. I'll give you a hint. She's from a warm place. All right. From Community Partners of South Florida, Millie Rodriguez. Come on up, Millie. Are you still here? Come get your ticket to fame next year. Millie, where's Millie? Come on up and get your claim to fame. On the escalator with me. What do you think? Start practicing your positive affirmations now. All right. Here we are. I have the distinct honor of serving as the Executive Director, Hope Ambassador, and Hype Girl now for Mentor Washington. Yeah. That's the other Washington, across the planet. Like many of you, I first connected with the Mentor Network as a program leader over 20 years ago. I have great skincare, and I also currently have the honor of co-chairing our National Mentoring Affiliate Advisory Committee with my co-chair. Where's my co-chair, Marcus? Marcus Strother, California. I know you're out there. He is my favorite partner in crime. I might talk to him as much as I talk to my husband these days. Okay. Of all the titles I've ever held in my career, I've had a wonderful career in mentoring. But of all those titles, my favorite title is Mentor and Auntie. This week has offered beautiful opportunities to connect with everyone here, to advocate, and to learn together. And if I'm being truthful, I arrived on Monday night with a pretty heavy heart. I was emotionally exhausted from the world around us. I suspect many of you have been too. And it is also true that I will fly out later this afternoon, more hopeful than when I arrived. And I hope that your soul feels just a little lighter too, after being with good people fighting the good fight. To be sure, our work ahead is still going to be challenging. The nation we experience today is 400 years of a designed system to maintain power and control. And yet this week, I have connected with so many of you, and I have learned of all the ways you are empowering young people and adults every single day. And I am so, speaking of those young people, I am so incredibly proud of them from our little content creator, Naz, who's running around here somewhere interviewing all the grown-ups on video, to our poets, to our speakers, to our panelists. Our young people are advocating, they are walking out, and they are stepping forward to live into their core values and show us grown-ups how it should be done. So as we all head back home, I want to extend an invitation to continue to connect. Our connection need not end here today as we head on cars and trains and planes. We are not going to be able to sustain the road forward without meaningful connections of others who are causing good trouble with us. I hope you were able to meet some of the amazing folks who work for Mentor National and Mentor affiliates across the country. Shout out to all my colleagues. This amazing group of folks across the country regularly offer training, we offer consulting and technical assistance. We have regional conferences, save the date, May 6th, Washington, California, co-hosting virtual. Opportunities to convene and connect, as well as opportunities to advocate on the state and local level. Please reach out to us. Take advantage of the resources we provide. I know that some of you are coming from states where you don't necessarily have a local Mentor affiliate. But good news, we're here to support you too. We often serve as friends and support to people from Oregon and Louisiana. I will also say from Washington, go Seahawks. Anybody watching the game Sunday? When I had them proofreading my remarks, I was like, don't you dare suggest I strike any football references. And I will say that it is a good thing that all you Patriots fans have multiple affiliates in the New England area, because we cannot be friends till at least next weekend, okay? All jokes aside, please remember, you are not in this work alone. We can do it together. So to find us, if you're not already connected with a local affiliate, go to mentoring.org. You can sign up for our newsletters. It doesn't matter if you live close to us or not. Sign up for our newsletters, follow us on social, or simply reach out anytime, even for just a pep talk. After you get home, hit us up. We're expecting to get your call. Have a good day.
Please welcome to the stage, from Mentor, Minnesota, Eric Pothen.
Right, well, good afternoon, everybody. We have made it to the end of Summit. I don't know about you all, but this two-day Summit goes by so quickly. I am just so grateful to be able to be up here today with these three amazing individuals. And you are really in for a treat. I think this is going to be the perfect way for us to end our time here together. We're going to hear their mentoring stories. All three of these individuals have had the opportunity to have experience with mentors. And so to start our conversation off, I would love for you just to introduce yourselves to everybody.
Awesome. My name is Yaraslu Balaina. I'm from Ethiopia. I'm 20 years old. I am alumni for Urban Alliance, and I currently work at Bank of America, being a relationship banker, helping clients with their financial needs and then helping them achieve their goals.
Awesome. Hello, everyone. My name is Vanessa Pitts. I am born and raised in Miami, Florida, and I just transitioned to New Orleans about 6 years ago. There, I was an educator first, and then I transitioned to my current role as the Community Engagement Manager at Son of a Saint, where I recruit, onboard, and train mentors to be with our mentees, and I'm also a wellness instructor.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. I am Kelvin Riddle. I am the Executive Director for Military Mentors, where we emphasize educating, elevating, and facilitating mentorship to combat the effects of substandard leadership. I'm an active duty Army officer. I'm a major. I work here at the Pentagon in my normal life, and that's a little bit about me.
Yeah, awesome. We had the opportunity to connect just a little bit before this started, and it's amazing just how quickly the three of you just started to connect with one another. Yeah. But I think the first question I have for you is, who has mentored you, and how did you get connected to these mentors?
Awesome. First, let me begin with a little bit story how everything happens. So I was in senior in high school. I was really lost, confused what to do, and you know how high school goes. You have to do a college application and everything. And I get an opportunity to join Urban Alliance, which is a nonprofit organization, which I'm really proud of. And they gave me an opportunity for me to explore what is out there. And I applied for it, finally got accepted, and then worked with Ms. Jones, which I'd love to give shout out for. And after that, everything goes smoothly, and then, you know, it's a professional development, so they're gonna tell you, hey, you're gonna do this one, we're gonna provide you with everything. So I was really happy to get the opportunity. Not a lot of people get the opportunity and those determination, right? So, and they gave me the opportunity, and luckily, Bank of America was one of the associates, like, for the internship. So I got the internship being a digital ambassador. So digital ambassadors usually in the lobby, being a leader, saying people welcome in. You must have those welcoming environment for people, because a lot of clients come in really mad. They don't know where to go. So I was the first person to say, hey, welcome in. How can we assist you today? It doesn't matter if you have a bad day, good day, you just have to be a welcoming person. So that really changed my mind to like, hey, see, the opportunity. So one of the great things was Ms. Jones told me was a lot of people are going through something, so you gotta be patient with them, right? So I did my internship. It was a lovely experience. It was a 7 corners. And after that, I got a position for Bank of America as a relationship banker. And my current mentor is Sally Kemelici. I'm sorry she's not here today. But even with my relationship with her as a relationship banker, she guided me what to do. And it's not just about like, hey, you're going to clock in and you're going to work. It's just have those conversations together.
Yeah, wonderful. So it's, yeah. Round of applause, yeah.
Well, I didn't have the traditional story. I didn't seek out a mentor. My father did, actually. I feel like he thought I was a little bit of a handful. Context, my family is from the Caribbean. They're from the Bahamas. And so when I got to high school, I guess he connected with the teacher there during open house. He took a stroll through all of the different classrooms, and he gave nobody his number but Mr. Miller. And context, Mr. Miller is a Jamaican man. And he said, if you have any problems out of her, you let me know. You call me, you let me know. And so I was none the wiser. And so I'm just doing my thing in high school, thinking I'm, making a name for myself. This is my first time away, and I'm not Otis's little sister. And so it came to a point where he just started noticing the different things that I was doing, and was like, hey, let me sit you down and let me talk to you. You came to this program. You said you wanted to be a veterinarian. What are the things that you're doing are aligning to that? It was a technical school, William H. Turner Tech, and it was an agriculture program that I was a part of. And he was like, what are the things that you're doing that's aligned to wherever you want to be? I was silent. I was like, I'm just having fun. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to enjoy my life here. And I feel like him being the person to actually notice me and didn't let me just run amok and ignore me and ignore the signs that I was having really made an impact on me and made me want to change and be a better person and start being back aligned to the goals that I had for myself. And so that is one of my mentors that I hold near and dear to my heart in my early childhood. And then Miss Kimberlyn Jackson, I met her through one of my roles as an educator where I was an instructional coach. She led our community wellness events for our team, and those things may seem a little weird, like you're talking to your coworkers about personal things, but she made it a very inviting space. And she came into one of our breakout rooms because she lives in Columbia, so she was facilitating this virtually. And she popped into our room and she said, hey, I want to talk to you after this. And she said, I feel like you're holding back. I feel like there's things that you can do, but you just kind of, again, like I was doing in high school, like flying under the radar and not using my full potential. And she essentially talked to me and said, this is what I want you to do. We're gonna meet once a week, every Monday, 12:30 to 1. I'll have the Zoom room open. You can choose to come, you can choose not to. I'm like, who this lady thinks she is? Like, I'm grown, you know what I'm saying? Like, girl, I'm willing my career, we're peers. And she said, hey, I missed you on this first one, just hope to see you at the next one. And so for her to continue to reach out to me and to make the effort, I feel like really just changed my trajectory and where I am in my personal career now. And I think we're gonna dive into that a little bit later. We'll go ahead and say hi to my friend.
That's a great story, Vanessa. I'm going to start early in my career as far as the mentorship piece is concerned. So 2013, I was a young lieutenant showing up to a unit in Fort Drum, New York. I don't know if any of you are familiar with upstate New York. It gets really cold. Well, we got a couple of people. Woo. So 2013, I showed up to a unit there at Fort Drum, new lieutenant, and I quickly recognized that I was a new officer and that no one else in that unit looked like me. And so instantly that was alarming to me because all of the spaces that I'd been in, I felt welcome. I felt like I was a part of that space. I felt like I fit in that space. But in this particular space, I did not fit well. And as I looked around, walking into that unit as a young professional, I was the only black lieutenant, right? Every other lieutenant, there's about 36 lieutenants for the non-military folks in the room. There's about 30 or so lieutenants in the battalion. None of the other lieutenants look like me. And so because of that, I responded to them a certain way. I saw them a certain way. I assumed they saw me a certain way. And that impacted how I performed. That impacted how I showed up every day in my profession as a new lieutenant. Oh, by the way, in 2013, I was newly married. I had my first child. So there were a lot of new things in there. And the person that I was in 2013 was just not enough to handle the responsibilities that was being demanded of me in my career and in my personal life. And so fast forward a couple of years, I ended up in Iraq. I'm still stumbling along, figuring things out. But something in me was just passionate about trying to close the gap between me and my peers. And I just could never get it right. And eventually, I bumped into, just like that, a mentor. He actually discovered, or maybe he talked to my boss, but he discovered me, he found me, and he said, hey, I hear you're having some troubles in this organization. And I said, yeah, I'm having some troubles. I've always been successful at everything I do, but here, for some reason, nothing's good enough, right? And so what happened was he helped me to develop a new frame. He said, hey, how do you see them? Why do you think that they are against you? Why do you think that this space is not welcoming to you? What's your problem? And I really didn't have the language to explain it, but he challenged me to begin reading books like How to Win Friends and Connect, and How to Win Friends and Dale Carnegie. I can't get the title right. How to Win Friends and Influence People. There we go. How to Win Friends and Influence People. Many of you are familiar with that book and other books. And so we began down this journey of developing a new frame, and I developed a new frame. And once I took this frame off, right, the frame that I showed up with in 2013, and I put on that new frame that my mentor handed me, my career took off, right? And so his name is Bernard House. I attribute much of my trajectory today to the person he was and how he showed up for me when I was in Iraq, right, on a deployment. But it took that critical moment in my career to really change things.
Yeah. Well, thank you three for sharing those parts of your story. Yeah, give them a round of applause. I think what I'm hearing as all three of you were sharing your stories is that your mentoring experiences happen in all spaces and places, right? Each one of your experiences is so unique, but also too within that you had more formal mentoring opportunities, right? Applying and getting your internship and having mentorship through there. And then we had the more everyday moments of mentoring, right? Where you had an individual come and say, oh, I see this in you. Do you see this in you? And pick and pluck that out and pull that thread to help you see the potential in yourselves that they saw. But I'm curious to know, what other impacts has your mentor had on you as an individual?
Wonderful. My mentor has a lot of impact, but let me just tell you one of the main things, right? The first thing was how to dress professional. When you go somewhere, you gotta look professional and then show what you're capable of doing, right? And my mentor, and then I used to be afraid by talking to new people. And then I was like, I usually don't like to get along and then discover new people, talk to them, what their experiences are. But by joining Urban Alliance, we had those discussion like groups. And I was really nervous. I was like, I don't think I want to do it. But Ms. Jones and Mr. Alvaro, I'm sorry if I pronounced his name incorrectly, but we sat on like chairs and then we shared experience, and that was the main thing that makes me like talk who I am and then share my experience, because everybody has their own life choices and experience that we have to learn. That's my main idea, and especially because we don't know what you're going through and you don't know what I'm going through, so it's basically changing experience. There's like 1 billion people in the world, and you cannot assume what I'm thinking, and then you cannot assume what other people are thinking. So sharing those ideas, hey, what do you think? What is going on? And then having those discussions really has the impact in like people's life. And then that's the main thing that my mentors told me about, and then I'm really glad that I was able to have those exposure. Thank you.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that's great.
That's very powerful. I would say both of my mentors allowed me to step out of my comfort zone and not live in like my safe space. Again, in high school, I was managing multiple things. I was in sports, I was in the band, and I was also working. I thought I had 2 jobs. I thought I was making big money. And so I was like, hey, I don't need to go to college to do that. I could just work my 2 little jobs on South Beach at that. Like, I don't really need to do that. And he, again, like I said, he reminded me of my goals and what it was that I said I wanted for myself, which is to be a veterinarian. And so there's nothing wrong with community college. And I was like, hey, I'm gonna work my 2 jobs and go to community college. He was like, again, Vanessa, you say you want to be a veterinarian. There's a school that is out there for that in your backyard, maybe about 5-6 hours away. Apply. And so he pushed me to apply to Florida A&M University. I was conditionally accepted. You know, my grades was what they were. And, but nonetheless, I went, okay, no judgment. Nonetheless, I was there. I finished my degree in animal science. You know, hindsight is 2020. We're not a veterinarian. Well, yeah, clap it up again. Hindsight is 2020. Obviously, I'm not a veterinarian, but there I was able to. I was a vet tech for a little minute, but I was able to get these experiences, meet different types of people, and join different organizations. That got me where I am today. Similarly with Kimberlyn, when she hopped in that breakout room and said, "Hey, girl, let's chat afterwards, or let's chat every Monday. I'll leave it open for you." She encouraged me to start my wellness program that I have for educators. Again, like I said, I was a teacher for 5 years. I was burnt out, and I'm like, what are we doing? I took a whole year off, was jobless. Anybody been jobless? Okay, right, that's kind of tough. And so I was jobless for a year, and during that time, I really just honed in on my craft in yoga. And my job is now to facilitate that also for other people. And so without her, I would never like pursued that and took that journey instead of like always asking somebody else to do it and to facilitate those things. She encouraged me to take the leap myself, get my certification, and also do those things. So, and also instruct yoga. So shout out to Kimberly and shout out to Mr. Miller.
I love that. I love that. So something I didn't say earlier was that I'm a first-generation college kid. We got a lot of those in the room. Oh, yeah, that's good. So you look at me and you would make some assumptions that maybe I've had a silver platter handed to me, and that's absolutely not the case, right? I come from a family, my mom had me at 17. She didn't graduate high school. My dad was just a hard worker and just provided for us. And so that was my model and my example. When I started my undergrad, I had no idea how I was going to pay for it, and that was huge. And I just kind of had to figure things out. And I stumbled through my undergrad, and my grades were what they were. No judgment.
No judgment.
Right? No judgment. I made it through. I had a bachelor's in music education. My intention was to go and become a high school band director and eventually become the director of athletic bands at University of Georgia. That didn't happen. All right. So somewhere along the way, I met my mentor, Chevy. I just mentioned him, who is the former exec director of Military Mentors. But he said, hey, you're doing a great job with what you're doing in the military. I think you'd be great to go up to the United States Military Academy and become a tactical officer. And what that is basically a role where you teach, advise, and coach about 120 or 130 cadets. You're responsible for their well-being for about 3-4 years. And so I said, me? I'm not an academy grad. Why would I go there? I'm not going to fit in there. So here we go again with this narrative. I'm not going to fit in that space. I'm not a grad. I'm not one of them. And I'm going to get stomped in that environment. He pushed me to do it. And he said, oh, by the way, you're going to go to Columbia and you're going to get a master's, right? Columbia University in the city of New York. Mind you, I'm a first generation college kid, had no dreams or no aspirations really for Ivy League. I didn't see that in my future, but somehow I landed on the campus of Teachers College, Columbia University, where I got a fully funded master's because of my mentor. That moment was pivotal for me because it showed me that, hey, anything is possible so long, and I'm gonna keep going back to this frames thing, as so long as you're willing to take off the frames that got you from point A to point B. Once you get to point B, you take off that frame and you reach in your pocket and you say, okay, well, what's possible? Anything is possible.
Come on, the frame. Come on, the frame.
And so, as you go from point B to point C, that same mentor said, hey man, you did great at Columbia, you did great at West Point. I want you now, when he finished his PhD at Tufts University, he said, hey, I want you now to go a little bit further and start a doctorate program. I was like, there's no way I'm doing that. I can't do that, man. I'm too busy for that. I'm not smart enough for that. I'm not the guy for that. And my wife was like, I think you can do it. And so I did it, right? I went to Vanderbilt and I got a doctor of education just this past year. All of that, I say all that to say that what got me from point A to point B to point C was a relationship with a mentor, and it was an informal relationship. He is an active duty colonel in the military, so he has a lot of power and a lot of weight to his name with a PhD, right? And I say all that to say just that relationship was threaded through each point in my life and in my journey, and there's no way I'm sitting here today if I had not answered an email he sent me in 2015 when I was sitting behind a computer in the desert of Iraq, right? Relationships matter, and the ability to be challenged, the ability to take off your frame of reference, all of your preconceived notions of how you see people and how you think and assume that they see you. Be willing to get rid of those frames and try on new frames through your journey, but don't throw away the relationships.
Absolutely. I think what I heard is just how much the trajectory of your lives have changed just by having a mentor. And I think that really speaks to the work that we all do, right? And the power of being a mentor. And so I know we are just about out of time, but to end our time here together, if you were to think of one word that would describe your mentoring journey or the relationship you've had with your mentor, what would that one word be?
It would be so powerful that makes me who I am today. So I would say it's the best thing that ever happened to me. And then it's going to be, they're not just a mentor for me, just like a family where they're going to guide you where you're going to be at. So it's very hard to say it in one words, but I would say a family just rather than a mentor.
Yeah.
I would say my one word is a productive struggle. They allowed me to be who I was and work with me. So I say my one word is productive struggle.
Yeah, I say my one word is vulnerability. And I say vulnerability because I only felt safe to develop that relationship over time with someone who had a much higher power dynamic than me, because he was vulnerable with me.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, thank you three so much for sharing all of your stories. And what a positive way to really wrap up our time here together. So thank you again.
All right, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah, of course.
Please welcome back to the stage Executive Director of Mentor Washington, Jolynn Kenny.
We have a panel of founders and CEOs from mentoring programs from all across the country with us. And since I don't have a mic, I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
Thank you so much, Jolene. Do you have my voice or not?
Yes.
Great. So my name is Ahmed Hilalabed, and I go by Ahmed. And I'm founder and CEO of the House of Wisdom. And also, I'm a first generation student myself. I'm 23 years old. And also, I'm the oldest brother of 5. And also, I'm an immigrant, American from Afghanistan. And just a little bit about my nonprofit. I founded from my parent garage with $300 in 2020 COVID time. And now it's an official nonprofit organization that's serving over 200 students and over having 50 mentors and tutors who are supporting all students, focusing on underserved, immigrant, and refugee students. And we are helping with many subjects, including math, English, coding, and we are now doing nationally. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jaleesa Hall. I'm the founder and CEO of Raising a Village Foundation, which is a DC nonprofit. We provide high-impact tutoring and mentoring programs all across DC public schools and DC charter schools. As founder, my organization did not start in DC. It started on the campus of Clark Atlanta University, where I started, shout out to CAU and HBCU. So it started on an HBCU campus with 6 of my closest friends, and that organization grew from 6 to 100 members of the organization, and now it is a $1.2 million organization here in DC, and I'm grateful.
Hello, everyone. My name is Vivian Lee. I go by Sonny. I am from New Orleans, and Son of a Saint is the organization I founded. We founded back in 2011 to support boys growing up without their fathers. My father played for the New Orleans Saints, but unfortunately passed away when he was 36. I was 3 years old. We've got about 700 boys that we're supporting annually, and we provide mentorship, in-house mental health services, travel, you name it. So it's a lot of work. We started with $100, so a little bit less than the $300. But over the 15 years, we've been able to raise about $50 million for our work and build a team of about 40 full-time staff.
Wow. Wow. All right, friends, take us back to the early days. Yeah. What inspired you? Was there a challenge in your community or an opportunity in your community to start a mentoring program? What did that look like? Let's go reverse. Sonny, let's start with you.
It is hot, these lights. Yeah, for me, you know, I had a lot of women that supported me, my mother, my grandmother, my aunt, my older sister, who's a news anchor in New Orleans. I mean, big personality and helped support me. Had everything I wanted in life, you know. I was able to have recreational activities. Education was preached, faith, all of that. And back in 2010, there was a boy that murdered another boy, and I saw on the news. And 2 lives destroyed, obviously, and I did some research, and both their fathers were lost. One of them lost to violence, the other one was in jail for life. And I turned to my sister, actually, and I said, well, what if we just try to implement what Mom gave us as a single mother and start supporting boys? And that's exactly what we did. So it was that moment for me that inspired me to continue or start Son of a Saint.
It's powerful. So I kind of talked about it a little bit, but I started a campus chartered organization at Clark Atlanta University. And it was really just supposed to be an organization with my friends just to do something outside of going to the club. I'm just going to be honest with you. We just got tired of doing the same thing and of partying. And at the time, Clark Atlanta was around a very blighted community. And so many of my friends were like, look, we need to do something about this. We're getting this quality education, but the community surrounding us is really, really struggling. And so at Clark Atlanta University, all freshmen, even if you pass your classes, you have to do a certain amount of hours of community service. And so what we did, we ended up being the chartered organization that freshmen would go to get their community service hours. So first that meant that we would just send them out into the city, partnering with nonprofits, but eventually the organization started its own community initiatives. And one was at the Atlanta Children's Shelter called the Driven to Succeed program. And it was actually that program that really made us known in Atlanta. We got to partner with other organizations, and that is how that campus organization grew. And basically, when I left college, I thought I was going to work at CNN because I got a job there because I wanted to be a news anchor myself. But my mentor said, Jaleesa, you don't want to break news, you want to make news. And when I really heard that, that really was, to me, the clarion call to start Raising a Village Foundation. And so that's what really brought me here. But it was through college students.
make the news. I love that.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, so I want to take you guys back to 7 years ago. So I immigrated from Afghanistan when I was 15 years old. So in Afghanistan, I lost many beloved ones. I was living in a city called Kabul that every day bombing would happen. And I lost many loved ones. So even my parents took me out of school because of the war, and also my dad served in American nonprofit. So this is where I'm coming from. And when I came to America, I find myself in a new place. No friends, no language. Imagine being a 15 years old and English is like not your language and you're walking in the street. And this is not only me, because I had still my dad and mom supporting me. But there was immigrants and refugees who were lost in the streets. Police found them. So they come to us and we welcome them. And then they said, teach our kids in your garage. This was a recommendation. I didn't want to start a nonprofit. It wasn't a planned thing. I wanted to become a diplomat because I can speak 5 languages. I would be probably in Washington, D.C. now. But what happened, this became goal of my life, the House of Wisdom. And the House of Wisdom is coming after Great Library of Baghdad, which was like a library where algebra was founded and many scholars from many faiths. So that became the goal of my life. So from that 20 refugee students, now we are serving a student from many backgrounds, from African American to Asian American to Latino American to Afghan American to Ukrainian American, and many students. So now it's an open place of mentorship and tutoring. So this is where I'm coming from. But also as an American Muslim, I believe that I'm living to serve humanity. I have a mission in this world, to serve others, serve more people who are in disadvantage, because I have the opportunity so I can take the hands of those who are in need.
I love that. Thank you. I have mad respect for founders because y'all got a lot on your plates, right? Like, you got to be everything to all the people all the time, right? Especially in the early days. So as you encountered new ideas, new partnerships, new funding opportunities, how did you keep the discipline, or maybe you didn't, maybe you have a lesson learned about what opportunities to say yes to and what opportunities to say no thank you?
So my organization in DC is actually only about 6 years old. So I very much still feel like I'm in the early days, to be honest. And I won't say that I always got it right. When you're a founder, and I was blessed enough to start the organization here in DC with $10,000, right? And I thought that was big money at the time. Not 300, right? So you went from, hello? You did that. Sometimes when you're just a builder, which I think founders are, right? You just kind of just take opportunities in the beginning, right? Because you're just so excited that people actually like your idea, right? So you're like, people believe me, people like this is great, right? So you're just kind of just throwing paint at the wall. And that was really my experience. But I realized that all of the clothes that I was trying on, and when I mean by clothes, I mean opportunities, didn't fit. And I think that happens by doing, right? And sometimes you just have to learn by doing. And so what I end up having to do with myself is I had to talk to myself and say, what is the mission of the organization? What has Raising a Village been called to do? And whatever that is, those are the opportunities that I need to stay pursuing. And those that aren't, I need to let go. And though that may sound easy for me to say on this stage, it's harder to implement, right? Especially when we are in resource-constrained environments, right? Everyone in here knows we all want funding, we all need it, and we all need it now. And so to have to be disciplined is a muscle that I have to continue to exercise. But I think as I do that, I get stronger, and I think my organization and my staff thank me for it the more that I do it.
And Sonny, you're a little further along. How have you said yes or no?
So essentially, I'll try to answer all 3 of those questions pretty quickly. I think one, from just a partner's perspective, we grew because of community relations and the pizza shop giving us free pizza for our boys, the the clothing shop giving us a tie if we were going out. But I would say as we've grown specifically and maybe we've gotten more out there, you'll find certain partners that want the marketing behind it and not necessarily in it for the right reasons, right? And all the activations that are required to get this certain dollar, I mean, it's so much, right? And you're like, look, I got to focus on the boys, not all these 20 things that you're requiring for this money. So I'd say that's one that was tough. And it can be still to some extent. With people, I would say mentors that maybe didn't join for the wrong reasons, right? Maybe it was to, resume builder or something like that, because maybe the hot thing that was growing. So we had to put the proper people on our staff to really, and mentors. We've started Mentor Leadership Council to sort of weed out some of those people. So I would say that. And then from an individual funding side, we had a donor, this was probably about 5 years ago, that didn't like a post that we did. And it was about $100,000 a year that this person was giving us. And he asked me to take it down, and I said no, so we lost that donor. But the following week, we got a new $100,000 donor. So that was just, something that for me, I felt, okay, we were doing the right thing in not accepting that funding.
So I want to come back to you, Sonny, about expanding your staff. But first for you, Ahmed, how are you, especially being new to, we're actually from the same region, being new, how are you going about establishing relationships with partners or donors, being new to the area and the country?
Absolutely. So when you talk about donors and funders, the first thing come in my mind is the word of rejection. Yes. So when I started my organization, I approached many people, from city councilors to the many people, but with an accent. My English is way better now. I hope you didn't see me that time. My English was just young guy in a garage. Who would believe in me, right? Who would believe in me? So rejection, but I didn't give up. I don't have the aunties and uncles who can support me. Like you said, a new guy in a new country. But my mission is always here. So I didn't give up. I burned out. I was like a crazy person, running around, delivering food, and my country government fall. The old government fall. And there's 78,000 Afghans become Piruli in America, around that. So imagine all these communities coming and relying on me. And who I'm relying to? Nobody. So, but always my parents, my community, my mom, she cooked for 100 people, for a Ramadan event, for a multicultural event. So always my family has been behind me. They're small businesses. And also people who trust me. Like, I just want to say I'm grateful for this stage because I wasn't planned. I want to shout out to Tim, the Chief Impact Officer of Mentor, and this opportunity is given to me. So similar to that, people who have the same passion as me, I found them and they found me. And I just want to say one thing. I do not believe that a community is based on race, faith, color of our skin. But you know what's a community? By same passion. And that's how I found my community. So now House of Wisdom has a board of directors from so many different backgrounds, from 55 years old up to 38 years old. And I knew none of them, but they are my biggest supporter now. So this is how we have built a community and how much we are strong. And this is what I believe. Everyone is my friend if we walk together. And I just want to say a small poetry, like don't walk in back of me because I cannot see you. Don't walk in front of me. I can only see your back. Walk beside me and let's walk together.
I love that. So not only do founders have to do all of the things, but after you've done all the things and you get growing, then you got to give up some things, right? And many founders that I have friendships with and professional relationships with, your organization feels like a baby in some way that you've birthed and grown into first grade now at 6 years old, right? Talk to us about how did you work through letting go and having others step up?
Well, like I said, we started 15 years ago. I was chief everything for the first 6 years. So I was picking up boys from school. I was going to donor meetings. I mean, you name it, I was doing it. We had our first hire actually probably around year 6 of Son of a Saint. And I was so used to doing that. But we had our first child at that time, so it required a different side of me because home was, obviously a primary. So I was forced to sort of delegate. And I remember my first hire was a guy named Chris Musco, and I said, you're the activities coordinator, you're focused on the boys, everything boys, right? Everything meant literally everything from mentors, every engagement. And it was a lot on him, but I was forced to because I have to be the best father to and husband to my wife and father to my son, right? And so for me, I had to do that, and it's been the best, honestly, like delegating my relationships with the boys have changed over the years. Those early boys are now between the age of 22 and 26, but they're calling me off the hook now, right? And so, I know that I had to let go in order for them to have so many other positive adults around them that care about them as well. So it was just a necessity, and it was okay for me.
Yeah, I am taking my first sabbatical in May 1st, which I'm really excited about. 12 weeks of nothing, right? And we're 6 years old and I'm doing that, and that's intentional. I did not create this organization to become a monument to myself. I created this organization to serve as a movement for people. And the best way for me to do that is to empower my staff, to give them the ability to run the organization without me. If I walk away from this org and it crumbles as soon as I leave, that is a testament to my lack of leadership. And so the best way for me to put that in practice is to do it now, to not wait until year 12. But it also shows my staff that they can be also blessed with a season of rest. Because this work that we do in mentorship or tutoring and just youth serving organizations, it's hard work. It doesn't stop, right? Typically because the needs are so great. And so I'm using this opportunity with the support of my lovely board who were just behind me on this, because I just do so much, y'all. I'd be doing the absolute most in my life. But to bless me with that season of rest, and now my team, who is going through sabbatical training right now, they're feeling empowered to know, like, Jaleesa, we got this, and go ahead and do your thing. So I think that has been the thing that has really drawn me in terms of capacity building, sustainability, and making sure that you have the right staff and people around you by practicing what you want to receive.
Thank you. Rest is radical.
Yes.
Okay, our last 45 seconds. One to 3 word answers. When you think about your next chapter for your organization and where you're headed for the mentoring movement, what gives you the most hope?
Okay, the boys that they come back after loss, the mentors, I would say, that come back, the alumni that come back to be mentors, and the single moms that trust us with their boys. That's more than 3 words, but that's what I would say.
I was just saying seeing communities whole, I think, is my hope, and I see communities getting together and doing that all the time. That's my hope.
My hope is collective leadership, because as of now, I have got a lot, like from Governor Student Civic Leadership, from Courage Award, from being nationally, but the team is there. It's not me alone. It's many leaders within the House of Wisdom from many ages, especially college students. So collective leadership and collective action. This is what empowers us.
Let's give some appreciation to our panelists. Thank you, Sunny, Jaleesa, and Ahmed. We appreciate you.
I just don't want to leave a stage without a selfie with all of you. Yeah.
Selfie time.
All right.
Please welcome to the stage Mentor's Chief Impact Officer, Tim Wills.
Well, good evening. You made it to the end of the summit, so congratulations. Excited to have you all here. Hopefully lunch was great and delicious, especially dessert, as you get ready to travel back home. Just a couple of things to kind of wrap us up here. We want to again thank our sponsors and exhibitors who really stepped forward to help support the mentoring field this week, so thank you for that. Also, I just wanted to remind you all that this week was a week of networking and communications to connect with new folks. So you still have access to the Summit app for the next 30 days. So if there's anyone in there you want to capture their information, connect with, you have the next 30 days to do so through the app. Continue to build community in your local areas. As mentioned when we first started, that the Mentor affiliates around the country are here to help and support you, as well as our national office. So start with mentoring.org to find the affiliate closest to you, or tons of resources that are there for you. Next year's summit, January 27th through the 29th, right here at the Westin again. So we hope you will take the time to join us there as well. I'm also the distraction for this change stage here, so just trying to moderate this so that they have enough time for that. We're going to close today's summit with one of my favorite youth organizations in the DC area. Life Pieces to Masterpieces develops character and leadership, unlocks potential, and prepares Black boys and young men from Washington, D.C.'s wards 7 and 8 to transform their lives and communities. With artistic expression and Each One Teach One mentoring at the core, their young people become the catalyst for positive change in the world. So, without further ado, 1, thank you for joining us at the summit, and 2, welcome Life Pieces to Masterpieces.
When I walk down the street or turn on the TV, I see my brothers and sisters being painted negatively. Fighting, killing, and lies. That's how the world sees us in their eyes. But this is not the masterpiece in me. And I realized when I was 3, LP Tim found me. When I was 4, I was eager to explore. My brother right behind me. You see him, you know you're gonna find me. You see him, you know you're gonna find me. Hold on, it's our turn now. Brothers and sisters, are you ready? I learned the biggest lesson. When I was 8. Succeeding was the only way. My brother right behind me. You see him, you know you're gonna find me. It's time to show them the values of life pieces. DJ, hit that beat.
Right up on stage.
Red is for the spiritual principles we display. We demonstrate every day. Yellow is for language we use to greet each other. No matter what our last names are, we're still brothers. Brothers stand, brothers greet. We are light pieces. Brown is for the discipline, guiding us to our task. Meditation is green for the moments we move too fast. Blue stands for giving, which purifies our hearts. And purple on our color wheel represents the arts. Black is for the leadership, guiding us to our goal. Open up my bag and I help you to see my soul. The story starts with one savvy rich, with 7 kids with a gift, one that they had because they had to exist on the mean streets. When people say it's tough to be an artist, I mean, some even say that it's not tough to be an artist. Living in the early 90s is nothing to be a felon, a father, or a failure, but harder to be a scholar. Work harder! Become a fighter, a painter, or maybe even a founder. What the vision trying to build something greater. They loved our apprentices, they wanted us to win, so they built life pieces to have young black men. Life pieces to masterpieces. We're right on time, we're never late. What? Life pieces to masterpieces. Our purpose in life is to live and create. Life pieces to masterpieces. With a definite purpose and determined ideas. Life pieces to masterpieces. Becoming strong young men, we have no fear. We love our bread, we love our water, but most of all, we love each other. Life is teaching them, tapping into potential gifts, and they trace you might miss chasing the foolish myth. The first to tell you're great and don't ever forget. On every shot that you take, even your biggest miss. That's your power, now turn your pain into your passion and your passion into purpose. Now you're scratching the surface. Don't let nobody kill your dreams and tell you that you're worthless. This is human development. LPT, I'm unveiling it. Hey, how about that van? Call your family from your front door. Your mom is great. We gon' sit outside and wait. No matter if it's cold, if it's raining or it's late. Your neighborhood is safe, so we making sure it's straight. Wait, at that gate, we line up LPTM style. Woo! Never late. We walk through LPTM style. Woo! Celebrate. I'm talking LPTM style. The whole city can smile. We got LPTM now. Wow, life pieces to masterpieces. We are a team. What a purpose and goals. Life pieces to masterpieces. You can buy our page, but not our souls. Life pieces to masterpieces. We are artists, standing strong and bold. Life pieces to masterpieces. And through our arts, our stories are told. Our stories are told. Our stories are told. And it all started with say one. One life pieces to masterpiece. 2 life pieces to masterpiece. Say what? 3 life pieces to masterpiece. Say what? 4 life pieces to masterpiece. Say what? 5 life pieces to masterpiece. Say what? 6 life pieces to masterpiece. Say what? 7 life pieces to masterpiece. And it all started with say one. 1 life pieces to masterpieces. 2 life pieces to masterpieces. 3 life pieces to masterpieces. Say what? 4 life pieces to masterpieces. 5 life pieces to masterpieces. Say what? 6 life pieces to masterpieces. Say what? 7 life pieces to masterpieces. And we all life pieces to masterpieces. Antoine.